everyone, today is going to be a different type of video. It's going to be about tips for new booktubers. Now, I get a ton of questions about, advice for new booktubers, like what should I do, like what video should I put out, what kind of camera should I get, la la la. I originally made a video about this well over a year ago, so I thought it's time, let's update it. Maybe some of my stuff has changed, maybe not. I haven't watched it in that long, so your guess is as good as mine with that. Guys, I am no expert on this at all. There's an expert and then there's like me. So just take that onto the scale. So you have an expert, then you have me down here. I don't know what I'm doing really. This video may be full of stuff you already know and you're like, why did I waste my time watching this? Or this video could be full of new information. You're like, oh, I'm so glad I learned it. Either way, I just want to put that disclaimer out there that I'm no expert at all. This is just what I like to, this is what I'm just going to tell you and what I think and stuff like that. So let's just throw that out there before we get into it. My first tip, if you are hesitant to start a booktube channel, just go for it. Just do it. Like Nike. Just do it. Like, what do you have to lose? The wonderful thing about the booktube community, I personally think it's one of the nicest YouTube communities on the YouTube stratosphere, honestly. You generally don't see much hate on the booktube community, despite there has been some drama lately, but overall there's not usually a lot of hate on this community. So I really feel like it's a welcoming place to come in and make friends and get connected and stuff like that. I think there's a lot more harsher communities out there, especially the beauty one. That one, wow, that's a harsh one. So yeah, just jump on in. The water's fine. You're not gonna, I mean, if you don't like your channel, you can always delete it, okay? Just go for it. Don't be scared. Just jump on in. My second tip is probably going to be the most cliche, but it's going to be yourself. It's like I said, it's cliche, but it's worth repeating. I think that's a huge thing about booktube channels is just to be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else but yourself. If you're an outgoing person that loves to jump up and down during videos and yell and stuff, do it. If you're a type of person that's quiet and just wants to sit in front of the camera and just really have a really in-depth, really like logical and stuff like that book talk, go for it. Do whatever you are comfortable with in your own skin. Me, myself, I think I portray myself pretty well from camera. I think I'm probably more upbeat on camera because I'm home alone. But for the most part, I am a weird, quirky girl, and anyone that knows me can attest to that. So I feel like just be yourself, I'm comfortable doing what I do on this channel. I do what I like, and this is me, I'm not going to try to be anybody else other than myself. Don't go into it thinking, having this preconceived notion that you have to be this particular way, you have to act professional, or you have to act crazy, or you have to act somewhere in between. Just whoever you are, just press that record button and go for it. Girlfriend, guy friend, whatever friend, just do it. My third tip is don't feel like you have to buy all of the books. I first started this channel, I honestly thought, I need to buy all these books. I need to have this insane collection. I need to have the books on the books. And guess what I did? I bought a lot of books, and over half the books I bought when I first started this channel are no longer in my library collection. And why? Because I just bought them because I was like, this looks somewhat interesting. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe I won't. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Trust me, as someone that wants to save your money and stuff like that, just save your money and really buy the books that you want to buy. In lieu of that, if you are on a strict budget, as myself, with buying books and you're like, I can't start a booktube channel because I can't afford to do hauls every month. I can't afford to buy books all the time. Don't think about that. Just start your booktube channel. The library is freaking awesome. I get a ton of books from the library. There's no shame in that. I get review copies. There's no shame in that. Even if you only have like one shelf full of books, who cares? Just talk about those books. We're not all here to show off our insane collection and stuff like that. We're just here to talk about books. And like I said, don't feel pressure to buy a ton of books. Really, really don't. Because yes, book hauls are so awesome to watch, but not all of us can afford to buy all those books, myself included, honestly. So just don't feel pressured to buy all the books. Buy books that you know that you're going to read and that you're going to cherish and love and stuff. If you have a ton of books, that's awesome. I envy you. I have a ton of books. Well, my collection's been a long time, but if you have a ton of books, that's awesome if you can afford them. that is amazing. My fourth tip goes on to that kind of, and it's read the books you want. Sometimes you feel pressure to read a certain book because everyone has read it and you're just like, I need to read it. I know I felt it, but the point is if you really don't feel like, if you really don't want to read it, don't read it. Don't feel pressured into reading that particular book. Pressured to read books. I have been pressured to read books, and books I haven't even liked at all really, and I'm like, why did I waste my time reading that? Because everyone else was reading it and I just felt pressure to read it. So read the books that you know that you want to read. Just read what you want to read and don't feel pressured to read a book. Like, just sweep it under the rug. My next tip is don't feel like you need to have a fancy camera / background to make videos. A lot of people, I think, get really scared about that. Like, they don't have a particular awesome camera or a pretty awesome background or fancy lighting and all that stuff. You don't need it. You really, really don't. I get asked all the time about the camera I use. I use a Canon D Mark II. Yes, it is crazy expensive. If you look it up right now, you're going to be like, holy crap, she paid that much for it. Yes, I did. Not for this channel, though. My career is a wedding photographer, so my camera is, the camera I use for this channel is, you know, doubling as my job pretty much. You know, this is the camera I use when I shoot weddings, when I do photo shoots, all that kind of stuff. It just so happens that I one day was like, why don't I use this for my channel? You know, even when I first started this channel, I didn't use this camera. I used my husband's Canon HG10 to film, which is a good camera, but you can see right now that the quality was not that great. It wasn't that awesome. So, and then I just was like, I should use my Canon Mark II. Duh. So, you know, don't feel like if you're watching this that you're like, I need to go buy a fancy camera now. You don't. You really, really don't. This just so happens this works for me because I had already owned it. Don't have a budget for a totally awesome camera, that is fine. You can use your iPhone. I have seen some amazing footage from an iPhone. I'm a firm believer in work with what you have. You know, if you have a bedroom and you have a shelf you want to film in front of, make it work. Like Tim Gunn says, make it work. Okay, you don't have studio lights. Guess what? Neither do I. It's called sunlight, and sunlight is freaking awesome. Film in the morning or late afternoon when you have the sun, you know, preferably get a window by you. That is the main thing. Get some light in there. Like right now, there's no studio lights. There's a window right there. There's a door right there. Sunlight. It just will really help enhance your video and it won't look so grainy, it won't look so dark. So sunlight is really good. You know, don't stand directly in front of the window because you're going to get blown out, but you know, find a good well-lit corner, preferably by your bookshelf. If not, totally fine. Work with what you have. Wherever the sun works best, you should go there and film right there. Another tip is to think about other sounds going on in the background. When I first started out, I think my first video ever, you can hear the TV in the background because I just didn't think about it. So if you have the TV going on, pause it, you know? If you have a fan on, maybe turn it off. It's gonna get crazy hot for 10 minutes in there, but I don't think anybody wants to hear like a zzz, that kind of stuff. I know I don't. Just think about stuff like that and, you know, just work with it. Now, that's just my personal tip. I think that could really enhance, you know, the quality. I'm a huge fan of really high quality videos, but I don't think you need really crazy expensive things to do that with. You get what I'm saying? So take an iPhone, put it on your shelf, be in front of like a window, or not in front of a window, by a window, have the sunlight on, turn off all sounds in your house, you know? There you go. You're gonna have a great quality video, in my opinion. Just because you don't have the equipment does not mean you can't make a high quality video. Work with what you have, like I said. Tim Gunn. Tim Gunn gets it. Yeah. My next tip is don't let the numbers scare you. Lately there has been a lot of drama, or not lately, I'd say it's kind of in the past now. There's been a lot of drama on the booktube community about subscriber counts and view counts and all that kind of counts and how it's unfair and stuff like that. And I understand that. I think we all start our channels with the notion, even though we're doing it for fun, that we want 5,000 views within the week. I think that's what we all do, honestly. We want those results quickly. We want them like right then and now, like, you know, like minute rice. We want that rice to be done in a minute. So I think that go into that, we get kind of lost in the shuffle of everything that's going on. It's taken me a long time to get where I am today with this channel, like a long time. I dedicate that to hard work. I am a hard worker. I am a person that when I invest myself in something, I invest myself in it 1000%. If you go in that with your channel, if you want to do this, if you want to be a booktuber and just be the best one you can be, work hard at it and it'll happen. It may not happen overnight. Lord knows that did not happen for me. Like, it's taken me a while to get where I am, and I am happy with where I am. I'm happy with the community I have on my channel. I'm happy with talking to you guys, and it takes a while to get to that. I know there are some YouTubers, not booktubers, but just YouTubers in general that have overnight success, and that's awesome, that's great, but more than likely that's not the case for a lot of people. It's hard work and just doing it every day, you know, and putting yourself out there and just doing as much as you can, and I am a huge believer in that. So just don't let the numbers scare you. Don't be scared if it takes you a year to get to 1,000. I think it took me more than a year to get to 1,000, if I'm being honest. Subscribers, that is. Do it because you love to do it. Don't do it just for the numbers, honestly. Just don't do it for that. Do it because you love to do it. And I honestly can say I'm not doing this for the numbers. I do it because I love to do it. I love talking to you guys, and I just love doing this. So just be patient and, you know, take your time, and your channel will grow. I promise you, it will grow. My last tip is to get connected. Get connected with other booktubers. Via Twitter, via comments, via Instagram, via Tumblr, via whatever vehicle you're gonna use, get connected. Making friends on BookTube is just so much fun. I had a Facebook chat daily with about four other booktubers, and we talk about our lives. We talk about books a lot, but a lot of times we just talk about our lives, about what's happening in our day, what's going on, and it just feels great, like, to feel like they're just not booktubers, they're my friends, honestly, you know? Like, when something happens, I think, oh, this person would love to hear about this, or I can't wait to tell them about this, you know, during our Facebook chat time. And I think that's just because when you connect with people online, it's awesome. Let's be real. All friends here. I don't think there should be any animosity or competition, because we all have the same goal, and that goal is to get people to read books, or just to talk about books in general, you know. The reason why I started this channel is to talk about books, and I love it. Get involved in the BookTube community if you want to start into it, which you're like, I tweet all the time and nobody tweets me back. You know, just keep trying. I try to tweet back everybody, or talk back to everybody that talks back to me. I try to comment back on everybody, on every one of my videos, you know, because I feel like getting connected is a really big part of it. So jump on in. The water is totally fine to get connected with. So that was all my tips. Either you loved them, you hated them, or you're somewhere in between. You're like, why'd you make this video? If you have any other tips, please leave them down in the comments. If you want to see some not professional, not really nervous me, go back and watch my earlier videos to show you how much I've grown. That's all I'm saying, because it is some awkward mess up in there when you first see my first videos. Don't judge me. That's all I'm saying. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, that's all for me. Bye, guys.